Freedom prospers when religion is vibrant and the rule of law under God is acknowledged.
An informed patriot is what we want.
Welcome to Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on Conservative Talk Radio. Muscular Christianity, where we relentlessly explore the intersection of truth and politics.
The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so.
Now, here's your host, Brian Fisher.
Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point, AFR Talk. Great to have you in the conversation today. A couple of quick things before I go to a phone call, our caller who's been waiting patiently. There's a basketball game in Indiana a couple days ago. The final score was 107-2. One girls basketball team beat the other team 107-2. And people have been up in arms about this. The game should have been called. This is horrible. The guy should have pulled his players off the court. And the coach, the 107-2, he played all 9 of his players. There's nothing else he could do. I mean, you cannot tell your players to go out there and just lay down. That's not fair to them. I mean, here's an opportunity. They finally get to play. You got to let them go full throttle. And there's no mercy rule. You know, in Idaho, where I'm from, we got a mercy rule in basketball. If a team is up by X number of points at X number of points in the game, they just call it off. Same thing in baseball. My son played baseball for years. High school, American Legion, you had a 10-run mercy rule at the end of the 5th inning. Somebody's up by 10 runs at the end of the 5th inning, game over. In fact, one of the highlights of JD's baseball career when he was playing in the state tournament his senior year, they were up 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. They were the home team. They're up 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. The bases are loaded. JD comes up to the plate. The coach comes over to him and says, "Hey, no pressure, JD, but if you hit a home run here, game is over." Well, he did. He just hit a grand slam home run, cleared the left field fence, place went nuts, and sure enough, it was game over. It's 10-0, bottom of the 5th, game over, mercy rule. They don't have that in Indiana. And I remember a football coach one time said, look, he was met at midfield. I think it was by Lou Holtz, actually. Lou Holtz was complaining that his team was running up the score, and the winning coach said to Lou Holtz, look, it's not my job to keep my team from running up the score. That's your job. It's your job to keep my team from running up the score. And then here's a lady, couldn't believe this. This lady gets home and somebody stole her driveway. I arf you not. This is Reddick, Florida. She gets home, somebody stole her entire driveway. So she called the police to try to figure out who it was that ripped off her driveway. Had a bunch of pavers, comes home, they're all gone. Let's go to Drew in Ruther Glen, Virginia. Drew, thanks for calling and thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
You're welcome, Brian, and thank God for all you guys there at AFR. I've been trying to get through for the past couple of days about the union
yes, sir.
Issues that have been going on. And I was just wondering, these unions got these pot-smoking, beer-drinking employees, they got their jobs back. And, you know, you've got the guys that get paid for sitting in a room for 4 hours, they get paid for 10 hours, you know. Well, how come the union don't step in when you got teachers that get reprimanded and fired and let go when they express their religious beliefs?
Well, that's a good point.
Where's the union then?
Yeah. Well,
and it's not just the teachers. It's what about those, in companies where they've got these transgender garbage bathrooms or whatever, or a guy can go into a girl's bathroom and vice versa, and somebody creates an objection for that, and they lose their job. Well, where's the union protecting that person?
Yeah, well, that's a very good point. They are nowhere to be found. Well, listen, I appreciate the call, Drew. Thank you for that. And speaking of unions, got some information here. Here are some union statistics to remember. And again, I want to be very, very clear. I am not anti-union. I am pro-worker, and I am pro-choice. If a worker wants to join a union, and a union can convince him that it is in his best interest to pay those dues to the union instead of keep those dues and spend them on his family, then I have no problem with that as long as it's voluntary. What I am against is compulsory unionization, where you got to belong to a union and you got to cough up the union dues as a condition of employment. That I despise. That's completely un-American. And particularly it's un-American when you are a conservative, because you got a lot of conservatives work for these unions, and yet union dues, 97% of the endorsements of unions go to Democrats, and the vast, vast majority of their donation to political campaigns go to Democrats. And if you don't have any choice, that those union dues are extracted from your wallet and you have no say over the matter, and you have absolutely no say over how those dues are expended, then I have a big, big problem with that. You know, Thomas Jefferson said the definition of tyranny is being forced to furnish funds to propagate ideas that you detest. And that's exactly where a lot of these union workers are. So, you know, Governor Snyder put it well yesterday. He said, look, this is good for the unions because it gives them an opportunity to make their case. They can come in and they can present their case why it's in the workers' best interest to join the union. They can convince enough people to sign up. More power to them. But here is some information that came across today about unions. I'll just pass along a little bit of this. The number of unions that failed to pass Department of Labor audits, 92%. So the Department of Labor goes, I don't even know what kind of audits these are, but they go out and audit these unions, and 92% of them fail the audit, which means they cannot account properly for the funds that they have collected and that they have spent. Now listen to this. If you're a union guy, this ought to just this ought to grind your gears. The total number of union officers and staff members in the United States is 173,389. So almost over 173,000 people work in union offices. They're offices or staff members for the union. They're not out there actually shoveling coal. They're inside a cubicle somewhere in front of a computer, 173,000 of them. The total compensation paid to union officials and officers is $1,152,061,495. So $1.1 billion is being paid in compensation to union officials. Now, the total compensation paid to union employees is $2.5 billion. So in other words, you got 173,000 people. I don't know how many people overall are in unions. I think, you know, it's up in the millions of people that are in unions, and yet union staff people, officials and staff members, are drawing half as much as the actual union guys that are out in the field slogging away, whose dues are going to keep the union officials in Cheetos and all of that. You know, and talk about diversity. This is a big cause. This is a big issue for the left. You know the number of unions that have white presidents? 94% of them have white presidents. Number of them that have male presidents? 89%. So much for diversity. The number of recorded instances of union violence and intimidation since 1975 is over 9,000. We saw that happen in Michigan. Again, they trashed that guy's hot dog stand. He's a black guy. They find out he's there to provide catering services to this organization that's there to support right to work. They trash his hot dog stand. They trash his supplies. And this shows you how conservatives react. The word got out. This guy's gotten $25,000 in donations. This black guy, the union guys are out there saying he's an Uncle Tom. They use the N-word on him. And here is conservatives, the ones that are supposed to be these racist bigots. They ponied up $25,000 to help get that guy back on his feet. The unions, they slug a Fox News contributor. You got the video of that. And he challenged the guy to a cage match. And the winner gets all the proceeds go to the charity of his choice. Hasn't heard a boo from that guy yet, to my knowledge. And they trashed this tent that was there. So it's 9,000 of those instances of union violence since 1975. Union racketeering indictments since 2001, 2056. Fines paid from racketeering investigations, $670 million. Focal Point, AFR Talk.